Hello Internet, here's another Sudoku, New York Times Sudoku, but you may notice by the branding that it's not on the New York Times app anymore because it's actually an old puzzle from I think last week. It was from if I remember correctly, it's the 29th of July. Well, I'm going to name the video so you know what date it is from. But since I haven't got a subscription, I can't use the New York Times app to do it anymore. So instead, I've just punched it into one of my more favourite web apps. I met the creator on Reddit. Basically, he posted it on Reddit before, and I've been using that ever since then for any custom puzzles. It's probably my favourite app because it has all the features that I use the most, basically. It does digit highlighting, which is a bit of a cheat, but I think for the sake of this video, I'm trying to keep it a little bit succinct and easier to visualize how I'm doing the notations, so I'm going to keep it on. It also has features like automatically removing candidates. You can highlight multiple cells, and you can actually, holding down Control, you can, if you by accident drag a line and highlight too many cells, you can undo them, which is really helpful. You can do corner notations as well as center. Oops, didn't mean to do that. No, those are center notations because I was holding the Control key, but you can do corner notations as well, so that's always helpful. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. I think anyone watching this video probably already are a fan of Kraken Cryptic and have seen apps of this nature, web apps of this nature, where it gives you a lot of helpful functionalities. So I'm not going to go too far into it, but anyone else, please check out this app. This is not affiliated at all. I don't get any promotional money from the creator. He's doing this for free as well, as far as I understand. But I'm sure, I don't know, I'm hoping that he earns something off this wonderful app, because obviously there are no adverts on it at all, so I don't know how people maintain this except for, I guess, the love of Sudoku. By the way, just clicked on options to show you these are the options that you can have. So you can have timers, you can have dark mode, which I don't really like, but if you like to be a purist, you can turn off the options of like highlighting matching digits or conflicting digits, but I just leave it on default basically with the New York Times kind of settings. Sorry, no, I leave it on default because I just thought it'd be useful in this instance to show you where my logic comes from when I do the pencil markings. Just a bit easier to highlight what I'm doing basically, and also hopefully reduce the mistakes that I make, because I'm prone to making mistakes on Sudoku. Obviously they don't make the cuts when I do my video editing, so yeah, let's carry on. So I'm just doing my usual, which is going around the grid and see what interactions the numbers do, digit by digit, around the entire grid, and highlighting any possible values basically. So when I first started, this is how I used to kind of work out what cells I can put values in. So basically by highlighting all the cells that currently I'm looking at the fives, by highlighting all the cells that 5 actually looks at, this is the pattern that I'm kind of like trying to arrive at basically, and through it I can see a pair of 5s down there. Obviously I don't do that like physically, especially when I do it in the New York Times puzzle, but it's the way I'm scanning the puzzle to find myself digits, like see the pointed pairs and kind of remaining digits basically. Oh, 7's looking very healthy. I have done this before and found a pattern. I mean, the first time I did this puzzle, I actually got stuck in terms of using just Snyder notations, but then when I went through it again with my friend, that's when I spotted a really interesting pattern, and in fact it was this pattern that made me want to do videos of me solving Sudokus, basically, kind of, because he just kind of like inspired me to explain myself, basically, how I solve the Sudokus. I think it's the first one that I actually managed to solve with Snyder notations and some obscure logic. Not obscured, but basically using logic that I don't normally find, basically. So anyway, I've just gone round the board. I've done from 1 to 9, so I think I've exhausted all the placements, but I filled in 1, 8, 7 and 2. So let's go around the board again just to see if I've unlocked any new cells. So I've got a pair of 1s up there, 2s, nothing on 2s as far as I can tell. 3s, got a pair of 3s up there, nothing else. So what about 4s? So 4s are locked into these cells, so they're not. Oh, but there's also that. So it's actually locked into these 2 cells as well because of the pointed pair. It's locked into these cells as well and these cells. So since they're coming in 3s, I'm going to leave them alone for now. But now the 5s are resolved. There's a pair of 5s here. Oops. Let go of the control key by mistake. There must be something here. Yep, another pair of 5s there. 6 again are locked into those 3s, so that's not useful at all. 7, and the advantage of being able to see the highlighted cells is I can immediately see that I've pencil marked in all the 7s, so I can move on to 8s. So 8s, nothing on 8. 9s. Oh, actually, I just realised, because I'm looking at the 3s and the 9s, that 3 actually locks a pair of 3s up there, which resolves the 9 and the 3 and locks a pair of 3s down there. And now I've got another pointed pair of 9s and another pair, so that was a silly mistake for missing that. So 4, 5, does that do anything with 5s? Don't think so. 6, 7, 8, 9 again. So I think I've gone round the board again. So let's go back up to 3 just to make sure. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, no, 3. Okay. So this 3 interacts with that cell. And this pointed pair of 3s interacts with that cell, basically locking the 3 from the bottom row. Basically, what that means is the 3 has to be in the bottom row on this in this box. And with the 3 up there, I've got myself another pair of 3s, basically. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, I know I've done. 8, 9. So I think I've oh no, I haven't exhausted it all yet, because I've got 9, pointed pair of 9s, so there's a pair of 9s down there. And that's actually really useful because of the 1 here, because the pointed pair of 1s blocks that cell and this one blocks that cell. That actually creates a triple. Now the triple in itself isn't that useful, but what it has created is a pair within the same box, as well as the row. So, and they happen to be the same 2 digits. And I mean, I already know this because I've done this puzzle before, so I still remember the pattern. It actually leaves us with 4 and 6. So you'll see 2, 8, 7, 5, 2, 8, 7, 5. So. And I think after this, I ended up getting stuck again, and I started using my normal strategy of looking at the weak numbers, basically. So if we count the digits, again, I'm being a bit preemptive in clicking on what I know are the weak numbers, which are 4 and 6, because if we count, we've got 3 1s, 5 2s, 3 3s, 2 4s, 5 5s, 2 6, 7 7s, 5 8s, and 3 9s. So 4 and 6 are the weak numbers. And if we look down here, we've got an 8 9 pair, but they don't resolve because that can still be an 8. I have no pencil marks in here, or this row for I haven't got a pointed pair of 8 here. We've got a triple here, which so I like to mention this tip a lot because I've been using that recently within the past couple of weeks. When you're looking at a row or column, any digits that are available, providing your pencil marking is correct, have to be have to be numbers that already exist in the cell. So I've already got 2, 3, and 9 pencil marked in, which means the triple, in theory, should be 2, 3, and 9 basically. If I'm looking at a column or row that has less digits, so for instance I've got 3 here, but I've only got 4, then I already know there's a 4 in there. I just need to count the other digits basically. But this is a 2, 3, and 9, but I can't see a 2 or 3 here, so that's not a naked 9, which means I can't resolve this triple just yet. So the way the 4 and the 6s interact are mostly in these columns. By the way, in terms of interaction, I use that term a lot. I don't think it's common in the Sudoku community, but when I say two numbers interact, I'm basically talking about the 4 and the 6. Where do they line up? Well, they line up in a single column, and these 4 and 6 line up in a column. Or if we look at the single numbers, these 2 5 interacts in this way within this box, but they also interact together. They cross over in the same cell. And that's what I'm typically looking for when I'm looking at the weak numbers. But since all the 4s and the 6s are nested to the right hand side, there are no kind of like cross sections going on further along the board. So but helpfully these 4 and 6s are lined up in a row. So that was my next task basically. So now in these 4 squares I've already got 2 possible candidates. That basically means there's no way there's a naked value in there. And in fact, right now I'm trying to look for a naked digit by just going around like empty cells basically. Not empty cells necessarily, but looking at the weak digits to find a naked single. So the strategy I use is basically anywhere the weak numbers interact, that's a blank cell. That's why I start, because that's the kind of like probability wise that has the highest probability of being a naked single. Whereas these 2 cells, if they can't see any other digits, then they're not a naked single. So for example, neither of these cells sees the 1, which means they both have to be at least a 1 3 and 1 5 pair. But whilst this cell doesn't see a 1, there's a chance that it can see a 3 and a 5 in this case. And in fact they do. So let's have a look. So focusing on this cell, I'm going to highlight it. So from this cell I'm going to look outwards. I've got 2 within the same box. I've got 3, I've got 4, I've got 5, I've got 6. And since I'm already purposely choosing the weak numbers, I know I've got the 4 and 6s already. I've got 7, 8 and 9. That's 8 of the 9 digits available, leaving 1 being the only value remaining. And what we just did was we eliminated a pencil marking down there. Since I've got auto clean pencil mark option on at the moment, so but the advantage is as soon as I punch in the 1, it immediately updates the entire grid to show me all the 1s, and I know based on the pencil marking, the Snyder notation, that that's the only 1 candidate down there, so that has to be a 1. And that's it. That's all the interactions we've got. We know these now sees the 1, so they could be naked digits, but this doesn't see a 2, and this also, no, this sees a 2, but it doesn't see a 3, so still these are pairs, so we haven't got anything useful right now. And then moving on, what I originally did was probably look at this column 3, 4 and 3, 4 and 6. but we can't resolve that because we can't see two values within the box or the rows basically. So so I kind of like meandered a little bit, and the first time I did this I ended up just pencil marking in everything basically. Couldn't do it by Snyder notation. But what I did notice when I went through this with my friend was obviously we're seeing 4 and 6 being weak numbers and they're creating pairs, and I found that quite interesting, so I tried to do something with that. And what I arrived at was, what did I do? I think, I'm trying to look back. Yes, so I've got these 4 and these 6 interacting with this column, with this row, locking the 4 and 6 over there, which means 4 and 6 have to be down there. I've actually got the same pattern happening here. I've got 4, 6, 4 and 6 has to be locked down in those 3 cells. But for now, let's focus horizontally. And in fact, why don't I pencil mark in the 6s and 4s, so you can see what I'm talking about. We can see the 4 and the 6s sharing these cells. And the next thing I did was look at this row, because if you look at the 4s and the 6, they don't interact with this row at all. They also don't interact with these 2 rows. But what's really, well, I mean, we've already got a pair of 4 and 6s there, so these 2 lines are interesting, but this line only has 3 candidates left. So I know there's triple, so I know there's at least a 4 and 6 in there, and the remaining digit is a 9. And this is where it gets super interesting, because there's a 9 here knocking out the 9 from this cell, and that actually creates another pair within the row basically. Within the column. What the? Why can't I? Is it not? What's going on? Oh, there must be a bug going on then. Oh, that's interesting. Is my shift key stuck or something? Trying to highlight them, but instead it's putting in numbers. So I think there's a bug here where it's not actually letting me do the color. So what if I just do, right, I can color individual cells, but I'm going to report this back to the creator. But basically, go back to where we were before we got distracted. We've got 4, 6 pair there, and what's really great is if I've got 4, 6 locked in here, it means I can't have 4 and 6 with the remaining 4 cells. And look what we've got here, 4 and 6. So suddenly I've locked the 4 and 6 in these 2 cells as well, and I'm going to use some center marking to mark them in as well. So and then the other interesting thing that happens is, first of all, I think it's along this column basically. So this column, I will admit I didn't actually find this immediately, but knowing what I was looking for, I spotted I've got 4 sets of numbers, 4 possible candidates left in 4 cells. And again, going by the trick of reading the numbers that are already pencil marked in, 1, 3, 7 and 8. Those are the numbers that we're looking for in those cells. And what we're trying to do is find a naked digit basically. So 1, 3, 7 and 8. Well, where have we seen these numbers? 1, 3, haven't got 7, got an 8. So that means in this cell we've only, oh god, this cell has to be a 7 basically, and this cell, this 7 knocks out a pencil marking of 7, and that 7 knocks out the 5, and that 5 leaves me a pair of 5s. So suddenly we are making progress from being fairly stuck after finding that naked one. And then basically if we just go around the board again, let's see, 1s, I just went back to my normal notations again, 2s, and with the 2s, suddenly, since these 2 cells are locked in by 4 and 6, that means that has to be a 2, which gives me another 2. That knocked out a 9, so that's a 9. And that knocked out an 8, so 8. And so now I'm left with another 4-6 pair. Brilliant. So this creates another 4-6 pair. So what does that do? What am I left with? I'm missing a 5 and a 9. Well, a 5 and a 9. I've got a 9 here, so that that has to be a 5. Actually, I should make sure that, yeah, by the trouble with using auto clean is it eliminated those 2 6s for me, but fortunately there's an undo button, so I'm really selling the app, aren't I? Besides the bug, the color bug that I noticed early on. So that was that a 5? Yeah. So I've decided that's a 5, which means the 9 lives up here, and if I'm not mistaken, that means I've got a single 9 here, which clears that 9, gives me a 1 free pair. So does that 9 do anything else? No, it doesn't. So now what else can I do? I've got 1 free pair there, but can't resolve that just yet. This is 3 and 8. Can I see either of those values? No, I can't. Oh, that's a bit frustrating. 2, 8, 9. Let's go around the board again. So 1, we were on 2 before, weren't we? So pair of 2s there, 3s. So 3s are locked into these cells. 4s. Can we do anything with 4s? So with 4s I need to be careful because these 2 boxes aren't actually pencil marked incorrectly yet. So yeah, I've got a pair of 4s there. However, that cannot be a 4 because I've already got 4 and 6. So that means 4 has to go in there. And I think I've just resolved the 4-6 pairing. So that has to be a 6, 6, 4. That has to be a 4. And does that give me anything? Yes, these 2 4s locks those 2 cells, so that has to be a 4, which means that's a 4, that's a 6, that's a 6. And I think this basically means the 4s and the 6s are suddenly resolved. They just basically went from weak numbers, but because of the chain reaction that they have, once I unlocked one of the 4-6 pairs, everything else just resolves itself basically. So I've just knocked out a 2, so 2, 3, 9 and 8. That's a 9, so I'm left with a single 2. So what else have I got? 2, 2, 2, 2s are all done. So if you look on the grid on the right hand side, any green numbers basically mean they're all resolved basically. So that has to be a 3 because of the column, so that leaves 6. That's a, oh no, not a 6. Undo. What am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I meant to put in. So 5s are resolved as well. Can 3? No, not yet. So I've got 1, 3 and 8 left. So surely 1, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 8, 8. And this is a 3. And there we go. No New York Times theme music today, but yeah, I just thought this 4-6 pairing is really interesting. I thought, yeah, I thought so anyway. I'm sure other people have more conventional methods of resolving this puzzle, but I think, I don't know, I'm just really proud of solving this. So, how long did that take? 23 minutes, 45 seconds with narrations. So, although I think it took me probably 40 minutes the first time I tried this to solve it. So, well, actually, no, I think I would have gone stuck quite early on. So, I don't know, I can't remember how long it took me. So, but anyway, I think this is the only archived puzzle I'll be doing because it's the first one I actually recorded but never published because I was still sorting out my microphone situation. My first few Sudoku videos were done by recording the audio on my iPhone, but I had to like synchronize the sound and the video at the same time. Now I have a microphone that I don't have to lean very close to speak. So like I said in my video today, I'm hoping to do more, so please, if you want to see more Sudoku solving on the New York Times, subscribe, like, it would be really helpful. And I guess that's what I'm going to be focusing on going forward. I'm pretty sure I had this waffling early on today about my rock climbing videos and whatnot, but I am kind of pivoting towards Sudoku because I'm taking a break from rock climbing at the moment, thanks to the pandemic and various injuries. So let's exercise my brain part of problem solving for now. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.